Let's get some Chelsea reaction now. Trevor Chalobah with Pat.
Trevor, you came here obviously to try and turn this tie around. How disappointed are you to not quite have done that?
Well, yeah, it's disappointing not to get into the final. You know, there's always a chance for us to get to the final and win another trophy. But you know, it's just the final details in the attacking third. I thought there wasn't much in the game. We done really well to nullify them, especially in the first half, and came out in the second half. And obviously the chance that they had at the end, but I thought the boys have done really well. As I said, it's just the final details in the.
Can you just put a bit more flesh on the bones for us with the game plan? How did the manager and the team want the game to go?
For us, we just go into the game knowing what the manager wanted, in terms of there's no rush. We have a full 90 minutes to.
Yeah, you talked about that. Take it deep, take it late.
To try and get into the game, and for us, yeah, we just came with no rush, no pressure. But yeah, I thought the boys done well, stuck to the game plan. We was pushing for the end, towards the end, but obviously it didn't work out. But we have to keep our heads up and not affect us and carry on our good form.
Yeah, you mentioned the attacking details. What was missing there?
I think, yeah, it was just obviously more shots. We needed to get more shots in. So, you know, it's hard to break down Arsenal with their defence. So it's something we can learn from.
And over the 180 minutes, of course, because Stamford Bridge as well, what would you reflect on in terms of what took the tie their way?
I think, yeah, obviously the first leg obviously puts us in a difficult position. As you know, we had a lot of players missing that leg as well, so that's one thing we can think about. But obviously it's not an excuse, you know, but as I said, always coming into a second leg, one down, it's always difficult against a very good side.
Yeah, do you think players missing played a part tonight as well? The manager mentioned something pre-match, maybe Reece James, Pedro Neto, losing them pretty late on, maybe even today?
Yeah, a little bit, as you know, we always want to come play against any team with a strong team, you know, and obviously we didn't have those two, which was a big miss for us, but still no excuse for us. But we can keep our heads high and move on to the next.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's tried to explain it there, which is great, and we thank him for that. But you're puzzled.
Yeah, I am. He was just saying about Reece James and Neto. They're good players, very good players, two of their better players. But Saka and Odegaard never played neither. Do you know what I mean? So it's not... you know what? I look back now, you know what would have been a big difference as well? Just as he was making the substitutions, I'd be interested to see if Liam was bringing off the lap. Because he just gets booked as they were making the substitutions, and I'm not sure. I think when it gets down to the last 10 minutes, you need a Delap in the middle, you know, who's going to get his head on something. But
Gusto was down at the time.
They'll be forever thinking about that in their footballing careers.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because if you look at it, I'm guessing from a player's point of view, stay in it, keep it tight, and try and nick something late on. Yeah, then they did a lot of that. But if you're a fan and you're a goal down in a semi-final, you're probably thinking, come on, lads, give it a go with half an hour to go.
It's not as simple as like just booting the ball in the box, working off second balls, but you have to feel like that you've got that understanding of what you're doing, you know. And it was very difficult with Estevao as well. He's obviously had to go back to Brazil for family reasons, so normally you probably started him because in the first leg he gave Timber a real chasing, which happens very, well, it doesn't happen at all. So that made a big difference to the team. Cole Palmer, I don't know what his injury situation was. Did you feel we could play 90 minutes? I'm not so sure. But there was definitely, that was his plan, to keep it as tight as possible. I saw his assistant coach, Liam, at half-time, he was, like, delighted, clapping. He was thinking, right, this is exactly what we wanted to do. Let's take them deep into the second half. Let's work on the anxiety in the stadium. But it just didn't happen. And even the way they managed it at the end, by just trying to be a bit aggressive, getting the ball into the box, they sort of lost that pattern of play. They didn't really find a way to get the urgency or the quality. The quality they showed the weekend against West Ham, when it was tight, and they're 2-2, and they managed to squeeze a goal out at the end with pure quality. They didn't have that once today.
But that was wave after wave, though.
Yeah, it was, and it was a chaotic energy. There wasn't that today, you know. And I think, you know, Trevor was trying to explain it to us there, and like you rightly said, he said it in a understanding way that this is the tactic we wanted to do. But I feel that in semi-finals, it's just a completely different thing altogether. You've got to throw caution to the wind. You've got to get the ball into the box. You've got to make yourself... You've got to be thinking no regrets after this game. And I think that's what, as Paul rightly says, there'll be a lot of regrets in that dressing room, thinking we didn't do enough.
You look back now and I just think... Yuka is up front who's struggling. You just played the two centre-halves. The two full-backs are very good in Gusto and Cucurella. They can look after the two wingers. They're good defenders, 1v1. that 4 then gives you an extra forward to get on the pitch. You know, it gives you another forward. And they didn't. They chose to be with another defender. And I don't think they needed to. That 4 would have been good enough to look after.
What, and then goes Santos, Caicedo, and then Enzo. Yeah.
You know, and if you want to play Steve-O as your right-hand side for 45 minutes and play Palmer the other 45 minutes, but you're getting a player on. They just wasted time. It's, you know, I wouldn't mind if it was Ireland up front. It's Gyökeres, and that's no disrespect to him. But if you've got 2 centre-halves who can't look after him, then you're starting to worry. You mean
Esteval, don't you?
Yeah, Steve-O. Yeah, Steve-O.
Steve-O to you.
We call him Steve-O.
Do we?
We call him Steve-O, yeah. We call him Steve-O.
I was loving it. I was trying to help you, but I think Steve-O.
Steve-O?
I didn't know he was Brazilian.
Chelsea fans.
But anyway, but I also think that the fact that when you've got the 2 on, then you haven't got an option to bring someone else, another striker on, Merce, have you? I know you said he could take that, but you should be able to trust a striker if he's been booked for. Come on, give me 20 minutes without getting a booking.
20 minutes without being.
Yeah.
But I just can't believe what I watched.
Well,
I just can't believe it.
I tell you what, let's get the thoughts of Liam Rosenior and find out what he made of it all. He is with Patrick Davison as well.
Well, Liam, firstly, the result, 'cause obviously you came here to win. You came here to turn the tie around. How disappointed not to have done that?
Yeah, of course. That's why you're here. We really felt with the game plan, with the way we wanted the game to go, we really felt we had a good chance to come through in a really difficult game. In terms of the result, not what we wanted, and we have to keep improving. I'm seeing clear improvements from 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks ago when I've joined to now, but tonight the result didn't go our way.
Just tell us a bit more about that game plan and how much did that game go, it might sound odd now, but how much did it go as you wanted it to?
Up to 60 minutes. We lost Reece and Pedro this morning. Hopefully we have them back for the weekend. Cole, we have to look after him. He's had a really difficult last 8-9 months with the amount of games that he's played. He played a full 90 against West Ham, and you could see when he came on his quality that he gives us. Esteval's been away in Brazil, rightfully so, with his family. We needed to make sure we gave ourselves the best chance, and the tie didn't run away from us in the first half. I felt we dominated in the second half. The game plan went the way we wanted it to go, except we just couldn't find that breakthrough.
Did you almost want to make it a game of the mind, as you said beforehand? Take it late, take it deep, and kind of play on the nerves we sometimes see in this place?
Now, there's many aspects to football, tactical, psychological, physical. All of these things come into your way of thinking, and also the players that are available to you. For me, that we can't speak about how well the game plan went because the result didn't go the way we wanted it to go. But I'm sure Arsenal would have known today that they were in for a real tough game. And not many teams come here and put on the level of performance that we have tonight.
How much was the game plan down to the availability or lack of availability, or were you always thinking take it late, take it deep?
When you're in a tie like this, you want it to go as far as you can possibly take it. Your system, your game plan is always dictated by the players who are available to you, and hopefully we get Este will be great for having that half an hour. Cole will be better for having that half an hour, and he showed moments of real quality in that. And hopefully Reece, Pedro will be back involved on the weekend.
If you had gone at them from the off, as we mostly expect from a team behind from the first leg, what would have been the downside of that? What was the risk?
There's upsides and downsides. Is hypothetical. We could have come here, pressed man-to-man all over the pitch, been 2-0 up in 10 minutes, or we could have been 2-0 down. You have to make a decision in the moment. It didn't go our way tonight, but there's still plenty of positives other than the result.
Is almost the bit that you're most disappointed about is when you did twist on 60 minutes, that perhaps didn't have the impact you hoped for.
For sure. You're relying on a moment of quality. You're relying on a good ball in from a set play. Didn't go our way tonight, but overall, in terms of what the players gave in terms of intensity, running, winning duels, fighting for the shirt, I felt we were there against a really strong physical team. So we just need to make sure we don't let this setback affect the rest of our season. We keep moving in a positive direction, and hopefully we see a similar performance against Wolves, but with a different result.
So what have you learned about your group, having gone toe-to-toe over 180 minutes against, well, right now, the best team in the country?
I learned that there are many good things. There are many good things here. Bearing in mind I've been here for less than a month. Bearing in mind I think it's 8 games in that month. Like so many good signs in terms of the small habits that I'm asking for, small tactical things that the players are putting into practice, and I feel like I've got a really, really good group to work with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm genuinely, Jamie, finding this one of the harder performances to ask questions about, because I don't quite know in what direction to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I also think you spoke a lot about tactics there. So if you work back a few days, they played on Saturday afternoon against West Ham. Then Sunday would have been a cool-down day, and I guess you could have done a little bit. Monday, then you might be able to do a little bit of tactical work. To get what you want in a couple of days is never that easy as well. So for the players to understand and for them to set out a game plan, there has to come a part of it where you have to take it into your own hands as well as players. And I felt today that to start the way they did, and I almost reserved my judgment at half-time because I didn't want to get it, like if they end up winning, this is a masterclass.
Yeah, 100%.
Paul was a lot more... He sensed it a lot earlier than I did today. But I just felt we have to be very careful as well. I mean, if that's the product that we're going to produce and we're going to sit back for half a game, this isn't basketball football. And then people might as well stay at home for the first half and wait for the second half. There might be a bit of excitement. We don't need that. We don't need to go down that route at all. And I felt today that was how it felt a little bit. This is what we're going to do. We're going to sit back and we're going to feel it out, and we're going to maybe put a few jabs out there if we can. But this is a semi-final of a cup. You've got to go for it.
Having said that, in your eras, there would have been times in games where people set up defensively to try and nick something.
Yeah, not when you're 1-0. Well, not when you're 1-0 down.
Not when you're losing.
You're losing the game. That's the bit we're both struggling with.
Liam's talking about there. He said we kept Arsenal quiet. Arsenal didn't have to do anything.
No.
They didn't have to chase the game. If Arsenal had to chase that game, and even if Arsenal lost 1 goal, they're still going to extra time, worst way out. But if they went 1-0 down or 2-1 down, no, 2-0 down, with 15 minutes to go, they would at least have had 4 shots before the end of the game. They would have stepped it up and they'd have gone again, Arsenal, and they would have pushed forward, took a chance. They didn't have to take a chance. I'd love to talk to the Arsenal players and go, are you shocked what happened tonight? Did you think Chelsea were going to come and have a right go? And Liam's talking there like he come into Chelsea like they were 5th bottom of the league. They weren't 5th bottom of the league. They were still flying along. Do you know what I mean? He's saying the improvement. Chelsea would have had a go today. Chelsea fans won't be happy with that. I'm sorry.
One more thing before we'll switch our attention to Arsenal when we come back after the break. You did the Chelsea game at home to West Ham on Saturday, and then you were at Spurs on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Some of the most exhilarating football of the weekend came from both Chelsea and Spurs when they were 2-0 down.
Yeah.
And Liam himself said it in that interview. We could have gone man for man and pressed them high up, and we could have been 2-0 up.
Yeah, I'd rather have
right?
that.
But
yeah,
we could have been 2-0 down.
I think that
now,
would have
surely
made sense.
when you're 2-0 down and you're pressing and going for it, you could go 4-0 down.
Yeah.
Or you could be back to 2-2. From a fan's point of view, does it feel like we're in an era where you have to be on the back foot to give it a go at the moment, to take risks?
Yeah, I totally get that point, because the weekend was exactly that, Mark. We saw it where I think there was also a case of poor individual performances in that first half from players. Garnacho, Badiashile and Hato actually thought did all right tonight. They really struggled. So he just had to change it, and then all of a sudden you got your home crowd. And that was the difference. The 2 teams that came back had the crowd of them second half. But sometimes in football you just have to take caution to the wind and just go for it. Make things happen. Get people in the box. Even he said Cole Palmer was good. I mean, Cole Palmer, he was so deep and he was playing a couple of neat passes, but I never felt like the threatening Cole Palmer. Like it was 10 yards further up the pitch. He played in your position, Paul. Did you ever feel that Cole Palmer was going to make or score a goal tonight?
No, not at all. I didn't. Not at all. I didn't see that at all. And I know, as Liam said, if we'd have gone man to man, we could have been 2-0 up or 2-0 down. But he goes to bed tonight thinking we had a go.
What would Chelsea fans prefer? They'd prefer that, wouldn't they?
You've got to have a go. They'd be Chelsea. They'd be fuming. Be sitting there thinking just come to Arsenal and literally just went out on a whim. And I'd love to see what the Arsenal players think. I'd like to think, are you shocked? As I say, as a manager, you want to go bed. And if they'd have gone man-to-man all over the pitch and gone, right, we just got beat. We just got beat by a much better team on the day. And they just cope better. Fair play, hold my hands up. But I just don't see what... And the worst thing ever for him tonight, for Liam, is the late goal. That's the one that's destroyed him. Because if it's 0-0, at least he might come away and go, but still, semi-final.
Because there's no doubt at all he's got a tremendous understanding of the game. Yeah. Tactically, he's done really well. He's making subs that are coming on, scoring goals. But it just felt like today it was one of those where sometimes you've got to almost forget, because tactics now are playing such a big part in the game, and we're controlling this part of the game for 30 minutes, different phases. It wasn't a game for that. Emotion sometimes in semi-finals is what you need.
And we're also obsessed with stats. Do you know the Chelsea... I'm not trying to catch you out. Do you know the Chelsea player who had the most touches in the Arsenal box tonight? I'm not trying to catch you out.
No, it
Fofana.
Fofana, it doesn't surprise me.